Musical musings, musical musings, musical musings, musical musings.
Hello and good afternoon. Welcome back to the latest episode of Musical Musings. We air every Wednesday at 1 p.m. and we broadcast this program to you from Rajamakan, University of Technology, Peranakan. I will be bringing this program to you in two parts. For the first part, I will introduce a song to you. We will talk about the performer who sings the song, or the band that does the song, that performs it. And we will kind of introduce the song, talk about what it's all about, what the main themes of the song are. Then we will go ahead and listen to the song. And in the second part of the program, we will analyze the lyrics. Lyrics are the words to the song. And so we will look at anything that might be difficult to understand, difficult vocabulary, slang, idioms, anything that's hard for perhaps a non-native English speaker to understand. Then we will get to the news and the latest updates from the university, as always.
Musical musings, musical musings, musical musings, musical musings.
Welcome, everyone. My name is Gary Gray, and I am your host for the Musical Musings program. I am an English teacher here at Rajamakan, University of Technology, Peranakan. I have been here for about 7 years teaching, and as I mentioned sometimes in my introduction, I do like to mix in music with my teaching sometimes. Makes learning a little more fun, and so naturally, I am bringing you a musical program. So, as I said in the introduction, we do one song every week, and this week we will be doing the song "You've Got a Friend" by James Taylor. Now, for our discussion this week, it might be a little shorter than usual because the song is just a little bit long, and the lyrics that we have to go through are also going to be a little bit long. Not too long. He does repeat a lot. There's a chorus there that gets repeated. So it's not too long. But we want to keep it a little bit shorter this week. So first of all, let's talk about the singer of this song. The singer is James Taylor. He's actually the one that made it famous. He's not the only person that sings this song. He did not write this song. A woman by the name of Carole King wrote the song. She's friends with James Taylor. They sing kind of the same style music, so it was pretty natural for James Taylor to pick up the song and perform it. As you'll see in the video, for those of you that are able to see the video of the song when we go ahead and listen to it, you will see that Carole King is joining James Taylor. She's not singing it at all. It's just James Taylor singing, but helping with the music. You will see that Carole King is helping out. So she is the writer of the song. But as for James Taylor, he's the performer, the main performer. He's the one that made the song popular. Whenever anyone here thinks of "You've Got a Friend," they think of James Taylor. So he was born in 1948 in Massachusetts in the United States. Massachusetts is an interesting state because that's where I'm from. I'm also from Massachusetts. And the former king here in Thailand was also born in Massachusetts. His father, the prince, and his mother were actually going to school in Massachusetts. Massachusetts is very famous for its universities. So they were going to school there, and the former king was born while they were there. So he was born in Massachusetts. So Massachusetts is kind of important, even to Thai people, because of its history. Okay, so James Taylor was born there in 1948. So that is what, about 76 years ago. I'm not sure exactly when his birthday is. So I'm not sure if he's 75 or 76. I don't know if he's had his birthday yet this year. But he's 75 or 76. So he's getting quite old, but he does still perform. He is still active. And as a solo artist, his entire career, he's pretty much never had a break. I mean, there might have been brief times where he took a break just for himself, but sometimes we talk about bands, they break up, they come back together, they change this person, they change that person, whatever. No, James Taylor, 1948, he was born. He started his singing career in 1966, and from 1966 on, he's been continuing. So that is a career that is approximately 58 years long. So he's been doing it for a long time. 58-year career. Okay. So again, he began in 1966. He was not instantly famous. He performs a style of music that honestly a lot of people perform. So it's a little hard to break through and become popular. He finally did in 1970. That was when his song Fire and Rain came out. Very popular song, one of his most popular songs. In fact, like I said, it's what made him popular. That was his breakthrough song in 1970. Just personally, even though I really like James Taylor, Fire and Rain is not one of my favorite songs by him. That's just my preference. Lots of people liked it. That's why he became popular, is that song, Fire and Rain. So again, Fire and Rain came out in 1970. The song we're doing today, You've Got a Friend, came out not very long after that, in 1971. So that is our song for today, is You've Got a Friend. Now, as far as James Taylor, just a little bit more about him. There's really not a lot special to say. I mean, he's been pretty consistent. He really has only one genre style. You know, I don't really like talking about genres because they get mixed a lot. A lot of performers, a lot of bands will have more than one genre that they do, more than one style. So talking about the genre of any musician, I'm not a big fan of that. I think people get the wrong idea. You say, "Oh, that's a heavy metal singer," and they expect only heavy metal music from that band. No, and it's one of the nice things about music, actually, is that bands can do more than one genre. One of the most popular heavy metal bands ever, Metallica, one of their most popular songs, Nothing Else Matters. I don't think most people would call that a heavy metal song. It's kind of slow. It's more of something like maybe we would call, I don't know, maybe a power ballad. That's kind of, a ballad is kind of a slow song, but with a lot of power behind it. We call those power ballads. Might be more something like that. So I don't like to talk about genres. I do a lot of times because people want to know, well, what style of music do they sing? So I talk about it a lot anyway, even though I don't like to. So with James Taylor, though, you're pretty safe here. He is more of a folk singer, maybe soft rock singer. See, even there, we're talking two different genres, but they're similar genres. They overlap a lot. They go together a lot. That's kind of his style. So he plays guitar, usually an acoustic guitar, and sings. A lot of times by himself. Sometimes he'll have one or two people accompanying him. Like I said, you'll see in the video, Carole King is there with him. I believe, if I recall correctly, she's playing the keyboards. So there's a little keyboard accompaniment with him. But basically, it's James Taylor and his guitar doing folk music and soft rock. Again, sometimes you'll get a few people joining him, get a little bit of drums, get a little bit of keyboard, things like that. which is why it kind of transitions from folk to soft rock, maybe. In fact, there's enough rock in there that he actually was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, I believe in 2000, I think it was. So he is considered, at least partly, to be rock and roll, even though when you hear this song, it'll seem very slow and calm, more folk-like. So that's really his genre, folk and soft rock. All right, that's James Taylor. Now, as far as this song, like I told you, it was written in 1971, and it was written by his friend Carole King. There really is not much to say about the song. As I said, we're going to keep this a little bit short today because the song is just a tiny bit on the long side. It's not that long. It's about 5 minutes. But it's a little bit long and quite a few lyrics to go through. But it's pretty simple. The song is about what it sounds like it's about. You've got a friend. It's about being a good friend, being supportive. So the song is just being sung to a friend saying, hey, I'm here for you if you need me. So you may wonder, well, why are we doing the song? Nothing hard to understand here. Easy, simple song. Well, he does use James Taylor, Carole King, she actually wrote it. They do use a lot of kind of phrases in here, sayings, words that might be slang. For example, there's one line here. It says, if the sky above you grows dark and full of clouds. It doesn't really mean the sky above you is dark and full of clouds. It is a metaphor for your life. Dark and full of clouds. In other words, you have a lot of problems. You have a lot of trouble that you're going through. So there are a lot of phrases like that in here that maybe you may not understand. You may not understand what he means. You may not understand the slang. You may not understand the idiom. So there's a lot to go through here with this song. So with that said, I'm not going to talk any more about the song. Let's get to it. As always, for those of you who are joining us on YouTube, as you know, we cannot embed the video due to copyright issues. I know a lot of people do reviews and things like that. They embed videos. Maybe we could get away with it, but we choose not to take that risk. So you're going to see a link in the upper right. You can click on there to jump to this video. And then once the video is finished, you can just click on back over here and we will go through the lyrics. Anyone listening any other way, streaming, radio, whatever, you should be just fine because you're just going to get the music. Okay, let's get to the song.
Musical musings, musical musings, musical musings, musical musings.
All right, welcome back, everyone. That was You've Got a Friend by James Taylor. And as I mentioned in part 1, there's no mystery here. The song is about friendship. Pretty simple. But we do have a lot of lyrics. So let's just get right to it. So the song starts out, when you're down and troubled and you need some loving care. I should say that the lyrics I have written down here are the original lyrics. I believe James Taylor changes some of them slightly. I think he says, and you need a helping hand instead of some loving care. Okay, so right away, we have a slang word, down. Down means like a direction, down. So how is that being used to describe your feelings? It says when you're down and troubled. Down is a slang word for sad. When you think of slang, you think of like popular terms. It's not really a popular term, kind of slang word. It's just, it's been around so long, it's not really popular. It just is what it is. That's just how we use it. I mean, we can use it for direction. We will say up, down, whatever. We can use it for direction, but we also do use it to describe your feelings. And down means sad. So when you're down and troubled and you need some loving care or you need a helping hand, which I believe is how James Taylor sings it, and a helping hand means just help. You need someone to help you. Like the original lyrics say, loving care. So you need someone that cares about you to help you. And nothing is going right. Okay, that one's pretty easy. Nothing's going right. Close your eyes and think of me, and soon I will be there to brighten up even your darkest night. All right, so this one, this part of the song is a little bit weird. I mean, a friend is not just in your mind. So I almost think that we might be singing about a friend who may have passed away. They may have died. I'm not sure. That's not clear. That's not really what the song is supposed to be about. But just the way he writes or she, it's written by Carole King, but just the way that line is written. Close your eyes and think of me, and soon I will be there. A friend isn't going to show up just because you're thinking about them, right? Okay. So this might be, I don't know if it's someone that's passed away or if maybe this is just such a good friend that even just thinking about them, you know they'll be there for you. So if you do have to call them up, talk to them, have them come over, you know they'll be there. In fact, later in the song, it does talk about the person actually showing up, which is why I don't think it's really about the person being dead. There's nothing, I've never heard any explanation of the song that suggests that. So that line is a little bit weird there, where it says, close your eyes and think of me. But again, it may just be that it's such a good friend that it gives you comfort just thinking about your friend because you know you can count on that person. Okay, so close your eyes and think of me. Soon I will be there to brighten up even your darkest night. This is like what I was telling you in the first part when he talks about when the sky above you grows dark and full of clouds. It's the same thing here. To brighten up even your darkest night. We're not talking about dark as in nighttime. It gets dark out. No, it means dark as in bad things are happening. So your darkest night, you're having a terrible day, you're sad, you're depressed, nothing's going right, as the line said a few lines earlier. Okay, so that's what it means. That he'll be there to brighten up, to make it nicer, to make it easier, to make you happier, to brighten up your darkest night. You just call out my name and you know wherever I am, I'll come running to see you again. Okay, so here we are talking about physically seeing that person. That's why I said I don't think they're dead. I'm not really sure. Close your eyes and think of me. Not really sure what they're getting at there. I can only guess that it's meant, as I said, that it's comforting to know that your friend is there. Okay, so this section here, that's pretty easy, right? You call out my name, wherever I am, I'll come running to see you again. Nothing there that's hard to understand. Winter, spring, summer, or fall, all you have to do is call, and I'll be there. You've got a friend. Okay. Also, that part's pretty simple. Nothing much to explain there. He says winter, spring, summer, or fall, so he basically just means anytime, whenever. All you have to do is call. Now, when we say call, that means like a telephone call. Remember, this is a song written in 1971. This is before we had text messaging, email, anything like that, posting stuff on social media. So the only way to get in touch with someone quickly, if you need someone to help out, if you need someone to talk to, whatever it is, you need a friend, call them on the telephone. That's the only way to do it. We didn't even have cell phones, so even that wasn't so easy. You had to be near a phone. You had to be home, basically. We did have phones available on the streets, telephone booths, but those are a little bit inconvenient. So mostly you had to be home. Okay, so now we get to the next verse. If the sky above you grows dark and full of clouds. All right, so there's one that now we're back to stuff that does need to be explained. That one I've already explained. Again, it means bad things happening. And then he continues, and that old north wind begins to blow. Again, weird, right? What does that mean? North wind. What does it matter what direction the wind is out of? Remember, we're talking about where this song was written, where it was popular. We're talking about the United States. We're not talking about Thailand, where it's hot all the time. We're talking about a fairly cold country, and it's in the northern hemisphere. It's not always cold. It can get quite hot in the summer, actually. But it can get quite cold. So we're talking about a cold country. It's in the northern hemisphere. That means a north wind is bringing in the cold air. Doesn't feel good. So when we talk about the old north wind beginning to blow, it means bad things coming in. So it's the same thing about the sky above you growing dark and full of clouds. Same idea. Bad things coming, bad things happening. So we have that line again, and the old north wind begins to blow. Keep your head together and call my name out loud. Soon you'll hear me knocking at your door. Most of that's pretty simple, but we do have one line there. Keep your head together. What does that mean, keep your head together? What's your head going to explode? What does that mean, keep your head together? Very simple. This is a saying in America. Not a lot of people say, keep your head together. They may say, get it together, something like that. But it basically means stay calm. Don't go crazy. Relax. I know you're dealing with a lot of problems. Call me, and I'll be there. You'll hear me knocking at your door. So give me a call. I will show up and help you out. So again, song is about friendship and support. Okay, now we kind of repeat here, I think. Yeah, I'm sorry. I had to actually look at my lyrics there for a minute to see if we're actually repeating yet. Yes, this is the chorus. So we repeat this section here. You just call out my name, and you know wherever I am, I'll come running to see you again. And then he repeats the winter, spring, summer, or fall. All you have to do is call. I sang that wrong. Sorry. And I'll be there. Yes, I will. Okay, so that's the chorus again. And then we get to a section that's called the bridge. It's a little different musically than either the verses or the chorus. So we have the bridge here. It says, now ain't it good to know that you've got a friend when people can be so cold? Okay. Ain't is slang for isn't. It's not a real word. You shouldn't say it. We do sometimes. In fact, we have a saying, ain't a word. Because it isn't. The word ain't, and I don't even know why people use it. It's not like it's shorter than the word isn't. That's what people use it. Whatever. It means isn't. So it says, isn't it good to know that you've got a friend when people can be so cold? So here we're using cold again. What does it mean? It doesn't mean temperature, right? People can be so cold. When you talk about someone being cold, it means that they're cruel, they're mean. And it's usually, when we talk about cold, people being cold, it usually means in a thoughtless way. They're not being very considerate. They may be ignoring your feelings, ignoring what it is that you need out of a situation, whatever it is. It's not very caring. It's not even always intentionally mean, because they're just cold. They're just not paying attention. But sometimes in some ways that can be even worse. Why? Because it means they're not caring about you. Someone that's intentionally mean, they may just be a terrible person, right? That just might be a bad person. So in some ways, it's even worse when someone's cold to you, because this is someone who might otherwise be a good person. And why are they ignoring you? Why are they being mean to you? What did you do wrong to them to make them treat you that way? So it can be a difficult situation. I can think of someone here in Thailand who is quite cold to me. I don't know what I did to her. Actually, I kind of have some idea why she doesn't like me. It has nothing to do with anything I did. Uh, but yeah, that's actually harder to deal with than someone who's just a bad person, because I know she's not a bad person. So it's like, why does she always treat me terribly? So it's difficult to deal with. So ain't it good to know that you've got a friend when people can be so cold? They'll hurt you and desert you and take your soul if you let them. But don't you let them. Okay, so they'll hurt you, fine, and desert you. Dessert, isn't that yummy food you eat? No. This word is spelled like desert, which sometimes people get confused with dessert, meaning the sweet thing that you eat after your meal. So this is weird. It's spelled like desert with one S, but it's pronounced like dessert. What is that word? To desert someone means you leave them. And we usually use that in a bad way. Like if you're married and your husband or wife just leaves you without telling you and they're gone. You never see them again. They have deserted you. That's what desert means. So they'll hurt you and desert you. So again, this kind of goes along with being cold. It's very uncaring. They may not even be a bad person. They may not be a mean person. They just don't care. That's what someone deserting you would be. They just don't care. They just don't even care about you. They're not even being necessarily mean on purpose. They just don't care. It's thoughtless. Okay, so they'll hurt you and desert you, and they'll take your soul if you let them. In other words, what he means by that. Okay, this is one where we do have to kind of explain what he means. Most of this, I'm trying to just explain the words. Take your soul. In other words, if you use like the situation that I used before, the example I just gave you, like with husband and wife, if you really love your spouse and they just desert you like that, that may be difficult for you emotionally to ever recover from. That would be like taking your soul, because your soul is like your heart, your emotions. You may not be able to love anyone ever again because you got hurt so badly. So they've basically taken your soul. So he's saying if they're trying to take your soul, they'll take your soul if you let them, but don't you let them. So in other words, be strong. And then he gets back to the chorus and he says, don't you let them. You just call out my name, and we do the chorus again. So he's saying, you've got a friend. And then we do the chorus. And then he just ends with, you've got a friend. And he repeats that several times in the song. And that's the end of the song. So it's a really nice song. It's about friendship and support. It's a little bit sad because he's talking about all these bad things that are happening to this other person. But ultimately, it's about telling that person to be strong because you're there for them. So it's a positive song. We have a lot of these songs that seem a little sad, but they're really meant to be positive. We've talked about this a lot on this show. There's a lot of songs we have that are like that. This one, I think, is a little more positive. It's focusing a little bit more on the you've got a friend part of it. That's the name of the song. That's how the song ends. He repeats that several times. I think this one's a little more positive than some of them, but there's still a lot of like bad stuff in there. When the sky above you grows dark and full of clouds, or to brighten up your darkest night. People trying to steal your soul if you let them, things like that. There's still a lot of bad in the song. But okay, that's it. That is our song. Okay, so I did mention in part one that James Taylor is still active. So he's been going for a long time. He's got a lot of really popular songs. I would recommend that you check him out, especially if you like this softer style music. The last 2 weeks we've done kind of heavier rock music. This is a much softer song. It's more like folk music, soft rock. Some people may even call it smooth jazz. I don't think there's any jazz to it at all. I would not call it that, but some people have a pretty broad definition when they talk about smooth jazz. That is not what I would call this. Some people might. I've listened to smooth jazz stations. They might sometimes play some James Taylor songs on there. So again, some people might include it there. I would mostly call it folk music and soft rock music. But again, a lot of other good songs. I mentioned to you in the first part of the program, he's got the song Fire and Rain. We just talked about You've Got a Friend. Some of the other bigger hits by James Taylor, Shower the People, Handyman, Carolina on My Mind. For me, I think one of the most interesting ones is probably Handyman, because it sounds weird. Seems like it would be a weird song. The style is slightly different. Not that much. They're all kind of similar style, but it's slightly different style. And yet, I think it works. I think it's a really good song. It's one of my favorite songs by him. And it is one of his most popular, so I'm not alone in thinking it works. Works well. So go ahead and listen to more of his music. Again, we have many other good songs by him. I mentioned a few: Fire and Rain, Shower the People, Handyman, Carolina on My Mind. There are lots more. He's got lots of good songs out there to check out. So again, his name is James Taylor. Go check out more of his music. Okay. Thank you for joining us for today's Musical Musings program. Please stay with us and make sure you tune back in next week for another great song. Also, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Thank you.
Musical musings, musical